Hey everybody, we're here with another Squad Chat. If you're not familiar with this, it's an informal conversation with some of the Squad developers. We have an archive of them that you've previously seen, but today we have Will Stahl today, also known as Merlin, who is our CEO. We have Dave Drav Mason, who is our lead producer. And backing us up is Fuzzhead here, who's Tom Fancy. He's one of our game designers, and me, Gatzby, your community manager. Anybody want to step in and kind of give us an overview of where we think we're at with Squad right now?
We're really looking to get out of early access and finish the game. There's a few really big things that we've been focusing on throughout the year. Tanks is definitely one of the big ones that should be coming out in the next release, and hopefully that's not too long from now. And there's a few other really big things that we've been focusing on. Helicopters is another big one. User experience and really improving how the game feels for people. I think that was a thing that really helped with A11, but we want to keep pushing and making things easier for people. And game design, like finding ways to really innovate and improve the game design. And Dave, did you have anything to add, I guess, from the more project side, since you're a little bit closer to it?
Not really beyond that. I mean, I would say A11, we really tried to just get the game back to get a performance state and add a bunch of new features. I was really happy with how that went, and I would say A12 is like another step forward. Certainly, like features, and we've really focused on features and content. Now we have not terrible performance. It's a game now that most people can enjoy. We're not there yet. We don't have a great performing game for everyone, but at least the majority of people can play at a relatively respectable frame rates.
And then I think it'd be good to kind of think about the big picture of A12. There's certainly some more stuff that'll be coming with it. I think one of the things that I'm really excited for is the idea of more functionality for squad leaders and, improved, almost like the user experience for squad leaders. I think it's something that Fuzz and Sergeant Ross in particular have been paying a lot of attention to. Is that something that you'd be okay talking about at all, Fuzz? Like kind of some of the user experience improvements that are coming?
Yeah, for sure. Most of the user experience stuff is kind of like gearing towards squad leaders right now, because letting them have a better experience usually helps out the rest of the players. So right now for V12, we've got basically a lot of the spawn changes is shifting the focus of the pacing to be a little more mindful.
If I could chip in on that, we think it's going to be good, but actually at this point in the game, I think we're not afraid to at least try new things and be slightly experimental. And if it doesn't work well, we'll change it back, we'll fix it, we'll continue iterating on it. Yep. Like the way I see it at the moment, the UI that's about to go in, it's a massive change. So like we've redone it all. Some things will work really well, some probably won't. I think this is where I am actually going to play the early access card and say, if we don't get it right perfectly, or we don't get to finish all the stuff, we'll actually just continue adding to it. I know there's some big intent on a lot of the squad leader marker stuff at the moment, right, Fuzz? And yes, we may or may not get it exactly how we want for A12, and if not, we'll carry on working with it for A13.
Yep. It's now's the time to do some experimentation before the game goes out completely. But and more user experience stuff. There's a lot of little tweaks that are going in. So I should pull up a list in front of me, but I don't want to give away too much. But yeah, definitely ammo bags. I don't know if we've talked about that. Infantry ammo bags. That's going to be a thing now. You're going to need to get rearm, and it's going to be something that's on your mind. Whereas in V11 and prior to that, you just basically spawn in, rush in, shoot a whole bunch, die. You wouldn't really think about ammo a whole lot. And if you did, it was kind of like an afterthought. So rearming and kind of having that downtime a little bit, that's going to play more into the next version for sure.
Yeah, and that's going to get fixed with the loot crate system in A12, right?
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
I was just saying because they're like, "What's that thing behind you?" I said, "Oh yeah, this is the loot crates. You get the flashy light there, and then you got the new loot crate."
With another M4 in it. Yay.
Yes.
And I wanted to make sure we're not leaving everyone too in the dark about where A12 is actually at today. I think it'd be safe to say that things are going really well with A12. The release is going to be on the order of months from the previous release. It's going to be similar to A11 in the sense that it's not going to be one of these wait a year for it. So I think we
can say off the top of my head anyway, everything that we want in is actually in. Not
I
all
see the wheels
works.
turning there. I love it.
Yeah. Not all of it works at the minute, but a lot of it works. For instance, I think we've got one tank now, like virtually fully working apart from bugs. The other tank, we just have to get up to that standard, so that's not far off. And that's fairly far along as well. Random AAS is more or less working, right, Fuzz?
Yes, it's working now. Yep, as of last night, it's working pretty good.
So everything's in, but we haven't tested much yet. And as we know, testing takes ages so while I say everything's working now, the next playtest we have, we'll find a bunch of things that aren't working, and then it's a question of fixing them. And I can certainly say the plan is as soon as it makes sense to do so, we will aim to do something similar to what we did with A11, and that's put out a public branch that people can switch to or not switch to.
That's it.
Puff keep. When is the next update? 3 weeks. Easy.
Still, that meme will not die.
Nope.
Bye.
Nope.
We have a script, that just changes the release date at the end of every week, so 3 weeks forward.
One thing that I definitely want to emphasize is going to be something internally happening the second half of this year that I think it's good for the community to understand, is that performance and helicopters are going to be a big focus for us. It's hard to say exactly when helicopters will be done, for example, but we're going to be putting more energy into it and making sure that we're really kind of full steam ahead with getting them developed. And there's a lot that goes with that. I think at times work on helicopters and work on performance does kind of go hand in hand, because the reality is once you're up in the air, there's going to be more strain on your system, at least with the way things work now. And there's probably going to have to be a mix of just the game performing better in combination with having some clever ways to change the way performance works when you're in the air. But overall, I think there's going to be other stuff going on. Like that's not the only thing we're going to be doing the rest of the year, obviously, once we're through the next release. But I think it's going to be, we're going to make sure that we're not getting distracted from it, I guess, is the big thing, so that we can get it out to you guys as soon as we can reasonably have it done. I think, I want to make sure that we're not being too vague with some of this stuff. So I thought it might be good to elaborate on a few specific things. One is that earlier in the year, we did kind of say that our plan is to get the game launched out of early access by the end of the year. I think overall, we've actually been fairly on track, and we've done quite well with getting through the things that we wanted to get through in the timeline that we had internally. Overall, I think it's going to be tough to get the game out of early access by the end of the year, but I think we're going to be pretty damn close. I think another big thing that we want to get into as sort of a model for our studio is the idea of really supporting games after they launch. So, you look back to Project Reality and, how it's been out now for like 10, 12 years, really. And I think that style of game and the style of game that now is in many ways continuing a little bit into Squad is one that has years and years and years of life potential. And it's where one of the things that we want to do is continue to support the game in the future. Like, as long as people are still playing the game and people are still buying the game, we don't want to ever let it get sort of like old or, the kind of thing that there isn't at least some people working to keep it fresh and keep it fun for people. So I think we definitely want to continue supporting Squad in the future, I guess is what I'm getting at, after it launches. And I think beyond that, one of the big things that we're going to start thinking about internally as well, though, is new games. So one of the big focuses after Squad launches is going to be having some people internally in the company that are focusing more on prototyping, focusing more on new ideas. Because certainly we don't want to be a company that only does Squad.
What is our relationship with Postscriptum? Do we share technologies? What is that like?
Yeah, I can go into that.
Yeah.
So with Postscriptum, basically, we serve as their publisher and we provide the technology. So on the technology side, basically, we give them access to our source code, and they're able to, whether it be...
Look at that.
Hey, Lally.
Very cool. That's awesome.
So whether it be the technical side where they've got maybe questions or they need help with something, we're always there to give some insight into how the source code works and help them use the technology the right way. And it's the kind of thing where there is that support expectation, basically. But on the publishing side, it's where we're more of a big picture supporter of the game. They're the developers. They do, I would say they do probably 90% of the work on their game. Like it really is their game in every sense. But, we also were there to help fund the project early on. We were there to help support them and, give them advice on how to grow their business and how to be prepared as a studio to do the things that they need to do. In many ways, it's, helping them through some of the roadblocks and some of the difficult things that we had to go through early on as a company. I think we learned a lot, both development-wise and business-wise, and we're trying to help them avoid some of the pitfalls that we ran into.
Just a quick update from somebody who was curious. How is randomized AAS going?
Pretty much at this stage, the randomization is working good, and we're going to be seeing layers on almost every map. Randomized AS is going to be on almost every map. It's going to be separated, so there's still going to be the traditional AS, and then there's going to be randomization. You only see your flag that you're initially attacking. So on the initial, you see your first flag, and the next capture zone will get revealed once you've captured that one. So that will change the pacing of the game quite a bit and make it kind of unique, more unique than AAS. You can't know exactly where they're going to be coming from or exactly where your next objective is until you've captured your first objective. So it's gonna I think it's gonna be fleshed out quite a bit and hugely improve the replayability of that game mode.
What feature are you guys most looking forward to in Squad when it is feature complete? Like, what do you guys want the most?
Oh, helicopters. Yeah, absolutely, helicopters. Honestly, I would love it at a certain point to be able to do laser designation with the attack helicopters. Like that was always, I think originally in PR, that was the one thing that really raised my eyebrows and got me hooked. Was like, holy shit, you can have a squad leader sit on the ground, call in an airstrike from a different set of two people who are flying in the air against a different set of people who are driving a tank somewhere. It was just mind blown. Sorry, people were asking about commander or commanders. It's definitely something that we're planning to be in the game. It's not something we're just not going to do. As far as timeline of it, I would say it's plausible that it would be in the game at launch, but it's not decided yet. It's the kind of thing where we're still planning out exactly what the timeline is for it.
Oh, did you guys have anything that you want to kind of leave us with? And otherwise, we can close out. And thank you for coming.
Yeah, just a genuine thank you to you guys. Again, you guys are the lifeblood of Squad. I think it's a game about people working together and communication and teamwork, and I think it would be nothing without the people who played it and the way they play it. So I want to just keep encouraging you guys to be great and to keep loving the game as much as we love you.